Friends, I'm going to start the recording, and I'm also doing this bonus as a special for my FFJ friends in the private Facebook group. So if you want to be a part of the Financial Freedom and Joy Facebook group, or already are, there's lots of free trainings and live streams and things like that, and tips and tricks in there. So I'm going to hit the live stream button. So I'll be quiet just for a moment. I have to type some things out, and then we'll get it started. If you're watching a recording, you can always fast forward just a few seconds. Okay, so for those of you also that don't know, when you do this on Zoom, it does take a bit to do it. You're probably looking at the behind the scenes, and since I teach tech, this is probably really handy. So you already had to set up the back end. There's quite a few little steps that you need to do on the Facebook group before you can. So you have to go and actually type this out. Sometimes I copy paste ahead of time and have it ready. I did not. So let me just say, so I usually do a bracket. So it's live and it's 7. Okay, and it's bonus. Okay, so there sometimes, which is cool. I'm not going to do this now, though, just as a neat thing for those of you that are entrepreneurs using these Facebook lives. I'll actually go and also I'll do this Zoom. I'll live stream, and then I'll have the Zoom link that you get, like that invite link. So I'll put it here, so then anybody watching the Facebook live can actually say, come on backstage, jump on in and ask questions. And so it's a neat thing to do for your group members, that they can come in behind the scenes. So just a little tip and trick there. Okay, so this is where we go ahead, and I'm going to say to group, and then select the group. Okay, and make sure I've got it. Okay, so I'm going to go live, and we'll be all set from my camera. Okay. Da-da-da. Hi, everyone. I'm starting my Zoom to Facebook live stream, and it's a bonus training about the blog class that I did this past week with Joanna Chaucer, who's a visibility coach and just amazing. Her website's bringing her over 100K a year. She did for 27,000 last month on her website. And she's not using the power of blogging yet. So that's what our class was, a behind the scenes, and it's ways that she can do some fantastic things to start to also drive free traffic, because a lot of what people are doing is very active advertising or paid advertising to get the word out. And where I love about blogs and websites is there's ways that we can set things up correctly now, and it's going to make passive income and passive leads for years to come. And so part of this bonus training is to just show you some of my examples that I've done, and you can see that. And we didn't have time to finish those examples on our behind the scenes training, the official one with Joanna. So that's why I thought, oh, I'll do this. You show you the examples, and you have to get the whole thing. It is amazing. And you're going to learn so much going into Joanna. And that's where the tech side of it is, looking at these blogging platforms. And it doesn't matter which website it is. I had never gone into Joanna's before that day. And then I was able to pick it up because I know what I'm looking for. I know those parts. I know how Google thinks, and I can make sure that her website matches that. So people sometimes get a little scared or intimidated with SEO, that search engine optimization. All it is this is how Google not only will find you, though when we do these things right, they look to you as an authority, and that grows momentum over time. Most of your social media is losing momentum over time, and you're always churning out more content. Well, let's repurpose that content or create new content strategically. And when we put it all together in this blog form, which is a place on your website, or you can do it completely for free, so no barrier to entry, and implement these tips and tricks and get yourself making a whole lot of passive income, one of my favorite things. So you get more money, more joy. Oh my God. gosh, it is so much fun to have these sales come in and actually make money online or have leads come in. So all of that is just fun. And then the time freedom is just awesome. So I've did these things, and some of these examples I was almost like a little embarrassed to show because they're not updated. And that's the other cool part though, is that these things that I did correctly years ago, like 2018 for some of them, and we're in 2023 right now, they're still lasting and they're still ranking. I did an incognito search to put it into this slideshow, and I'm still ranking on the first page very high on Google for something I did in 2018. So imagine when I go through and update it, even better. So that's where, when we're looking for things, and that's a lot of what the paid class is where are we targeting? What are we looking for? And then when we implement those things, they're going to last for a very long time. So let's dive into our slideshow. And so this is the class. We'll make sure that the link is there so you can go ahead and get the actual paid class, which is so worth it. Her wonderful testimonial is like, you're going to learn things that are worth thousands of dollars, though implementing it, you'll make thousands of dollars. And so there we go, friends. So that's the information. And let me now show you the behind the scenes look at all of our amazing stuff that blogging can do. And so kind of what I touched on, that you're the authority on Google, and these free leads and passive sales is just priceless. So friends, take a look, and whether you're ready to implement it now or later, it's definitely something to keep in your back pocket and know that it's something that's of huge value for you to do and dive into. Or better yet, what I love to teach my students is learn so you know what's happening, and then we're going to have a virtual assistant do the doing for you and keep it up, and it doesn't just become another task on your plate. So there we go, friends. So let's go on in. So I love to start all my presentations with a gratitude moment and a congratulations. And also, if the only thing you take away from anything to do with FFJ is have those gratitude moments. I like to celebrate at 11:11. It's just a fun one to just take that pause and be grateful. Sometimes I share it or live stream it, whatever it needs to be. It doesn't have to be your 11:11, though. Do something every day to jot your memory down. Oh, have that gratitude moment. It can be a sticky note, reminder in your phone, something like that. It's because the more that we practice active gratitude, the more active gratitude and things to be grateful for comes into our life. So love to you all. And if you would like to stay till the end, we've got gifts. And so I love to put that in there. So that's an incentive for you all. And hey, if you're on the replay, I guess you can just buzz ahead and get your gift. However, I highly, highly recommend you actually hear the everything that I'm going to share. And it's a time investment of you. And I get that. And that's why I want to put some really awesome stuff in there for you. So let's go on through. Okay. So even if you're feeling overwhelmed running it and you hear blogs, and I'm like, one more thing. It is one more thing that's worth looking at. So I got your back. It's not going to cost you a lot of time, especially not the upkeep. So remember, the time you invest into learning and then doing it is going to pay off considerably. Isn't that right? We love that, Claire. Okay. So even if the tech feels daunting and you're like, tech's not your thing, and oh my gosh, then you're going to have to think about websites. One, outsource it, though I like you to know what's going on, because that's another place you can save money. Instead of paying for an expert to hand everything over, if you have a sense of it, somebody at a lower cost can actually do it for you if you know what's going on. So yay, that's what I want for you. Know what's going on so you can be that wonderful captain of your business. So guaranteed for you, friends. So if you can use social media or send an email, you're going to be able to do a blog as well. So the tech side has gotten so much easier. When I started it in 2013, and it was still relatively easy, though back way before that you actually had to know coding and all sorts of nonsense. So it's so simple and you can do it too. Okay, which is exactly what I say. So you're welcome to do that. Also, I keep looking down because I see my. Okay, so there's amazing student wins. So that's for you all to realize, and that's where I say you can do it too. Well, there's a lot of proof that you can do it as well because I've taught a lot of people how to do this. And having once again this FFJ, financial freedom and joy. So there's so many different ways we can let money into our life, and most importantly, having joy that goes along with it, and not, feeling and all of this stuff, or working hard for money never feels good. So things like that, where can we start to get more passive sales as well as enjoying that in our life? And so here's just some of the business owners I'm fortunate that really love and appreciate FFJ and have been blessed by the different principles that I've taught. So, where did I learn all this? Well, my very first business, I was 19 years old when I founded a petting zoo. So, I got to have every single animal that I ever dreamed of. I'm holding a macaw right there, Zazu. He was flown in from an airplane at about 8 weeks old from Ohio, and I hand raised him. And it was amazing. And when I had all this, I also didn't have my time freedom. So we were doing about $500,000 every year. I built the company up around it. And oh my gosh, like it was a lot. And so, anyway, in my financial freedom journey, I decided, you know what, I wanted to do more. And so I sold the company. And, 10 years down the road, it's flourishing. And that's what I hold for all of you all, is what we invest our time in can grow and blossom with or without us and do good in the world for generations. And that's exactly what this business is doing. It's supporting not only a family and an extended family of loved ones, thousands of customers every year. They host weddings, and it's everything beyond our wildest dreams. So that's whatever you do in business and life, just seeing that you can really put those out there. And that's where using the power of the internet is how I personally have decided that I love to make assets. And then this is what I did. Ooh, moving me all over the place. And so I ran, after I sold my business, I ran financial freedom clubs. So that was something one of my mentors, Robert Kiyosaki, talks about, this idea of having passive income exceed your expenses. And I'm like, well, how do I do that in my business? Because in my petting zoo business, I worked hard for money, and I had never paid myself a passive or an owner part of it just for existing. So that was a lot of mindset shifts too. And then this is where I love to teach, and especially go in where we use the power of blogs to create assets. So everything that you're doing creates money. And whether you would love to actively serve and work with customers or make your products, or have digital versions or other things that are more passive, or even in different income streams, totally different things. This is where we can have so many different assets that create freedom and income. And that's how the high income people do, rather than seeking money outside of themselves through an external source like a job or self employment, where if we stop working, our money stops. When we're in the high income idea, and this is where our assets, without us doing anything, just continue to make us money. So I hold that for all of you. And that's what we're going to learn with blogging, how to do that. And the bigger thing that I love to look for is this cash flow quadrant. So you can see it again and again and again. Get that distinction. Self employed means you're working for money. Business owner is the business is working for you with or without you. So we make that leap, and blogging is one way that we can really do a phenomenal job of creating lasting passive income from every source of different things. Or, oh my gosh, you have a new hobby or a secret hobby and you want to create a website around it. These tools work for any and every business type, because it's just how are you sharing and talking about it. And this is where you're going to see the tech side is quite simple and very powerful. Okay, so this is one testimonial just that I love to share. And so this is like my original client back when I sold my business in 2013. So I was working with her in 2014. from one conversation that we had, she had this idea that she could repurpose something that she was already doing in her $100,000 a year business, and was like, oh my gosh, well, I can list these one time on Etsy. And she continues to make sales after sales. She sent me that screenshot last fall, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's done over $9,000 from one conversation that she took action on. And this is where can you find these things, put some time in, and it continues to repurpose. And blogging is one way that you can take your assets. So say she does this with a blog, all she is solely relied on Etsy. So Randy, expanding and using blogging is another way that you can be repurposing and getting even more sales, and so exciting for you all. And so now so I'm just really blessed. This is my purpose, and I'm living it and getting to share with you all about how to create these from our business. And then in those terms, I was able to do my second business and third business and every business thereafter from anywhere I want in the world. So I can be visiting my family, I can be down in Belize or Costa Rica or the beaches of Kauai, wherever I want to be. My business can run itself, and that's what I hold for you all, because it's very possible. And so I have an upcoming book where I put it all together. And then in the meantime, this is where we have the trainings in the Facebook group. I have behind the scenes trainings, courses, things like that to teach you all exactly where you can be doing these elements in your business. Okay, so blogs are the key to getting found online. So where does this tie in with things? Well, let me show you. They're hiding in plain sight, and that's what people don't realize. So a lot of times, and you can do this, is go do a Google search. And when you're searching, especially more for the how to or the questions, things that are relevant, that you can actually start to notice how there's dates on some articles, and then some articles don't have dates embedded. Well, this tells me in an instant anything with a date means that it's a blog post or articles. And so it's just a way of publishing on the behind the scenes of your website. You can have either a page, like think an about page, a contact us page, a home page. Well, then you also have posts. And so posts are ways that we can use. And when they're dated on the behind the scenes part, when a user is looking for it, they see that date, and then they can know whether something's relevant. And so this is where we can use dates in our posts to really supercharge. And this is why Google looks at a blog post with a little more oomph, because it's relevant and people want that. Versus how much, often do you update a home page or an about page once things are established? So when it's instead a article page, it's more recent, more relevant, and chances are then Google's going to find a more happier resource to give you because it's been updated more recently. So that's one reason right here why we love blog posts and why we start to look for them. So you can see now, here's some of my examples. So I just did an incognito search. So for those of you that don't know what an incognito, it means that it doesn't take your personalized data and give you a result. So for this one, when someone is searching for balloon twisting on the Big Island of Hawaii, they are going to find my business's website. And right now, no filters attached. It was number 2 on Google. And embarrassingly enough, like these results I was saying, is I haven't updated this since 2020, which actually it was probably not updated since 2018. And then I did a tweak in 2020, and I haven't touched it since. And it's still ranking. And so this is where, and yes, somebody else who doesn't have a date is ranking higher. And so this is just, it's not an end all be all. It's just one way that you can start to get your stuff up there. And this is where right here, you can see the home page for this guy is what's ranking. So Google's saying, hey, this is an authority, and it's putting the home page. Well, what it found on mine is actually a blog post page. So it might, for whatever reason, it's not finding my home page to be the thing to show, though the articles can sometimes outrank the weight of a page. So this is a neat way, and sometimes you can actually outbeat, the different things that you're looking for. And also, it's a bonus training, though it's also an overview. This is what we go into the behind the scenes of how to position these, because just making solely a blog post versus a page, not going to make a huge difference. I did a lot of back end and SEO things onto these pages, and that's why they're still holding that weight. And that's what we do on Joanna's, is show her the behind the scenes and looking at the different parts of her web page and going through it. And now that'll hold the weight for hers, and we can start to get her more traction via blog posts faster than it'll do for Google to rank her homepage as an authority. So that's hopefully explaining well to you why we like to use blog pages in that sense. And you can see, so then this is my party site. And so what I've done here that's pretty cool is my services page. So that's a page, like one of those static pages. And then what I knew about blogging is the how I can rank and be important. And so what I did is, instead of making like these pages on my website, like a balloon page, most people would say, oh, I have this service, I'm going to make a page. Well, instead I made it a blog post, and there's just a subtle difference. And so from the user experience, they don't notice it. And so though from the Google sense, that's why my service pages like the balloon twisting ranked so high up on Google, and I just embedded it right into the website. So this is where now you can see that it was this post. And so this is where there's a date connected to it, versus if it was just a page, it wouldn't be displaying. And so that's, like I said, one aspect of where I can use blog posts and putting all these behind the scenes. It's been a really successful little trick. And I highly recommend you do that with you and your business. So getting the behind the scenes, you'll see all the different things that goes into it. Though you can see, I just took this screenshot, and these are the free leads that come in very often from a website that I haven't updated in years. And so it's still active. I actually have a virtual assistant who runs the most of it for me. She handles all the customer service and all of this stuff. I have it CC'd so that this comes to my email. So I don't even have my business email like as anything that's logged in. So it's just something, that was a challenge that I wanted to do with a company, and it's been a very fun and beautiful thing. And I'm always in the loop. So what she does instead, she sends me messages about what I need to know and see. So I'm very active in the business side of it when I want to, and she can ask me whatever it needs to be, though she's the one who's, logged into all the accounts actually doing the stuff. So that's one way of having a freedom business. And this is where we get free leads and, creating thousands of dollars every year from those leads. I've never done any paid advertising on this site. And so this is all just solely from those blog pages that I set up. So whoop, whoop. Then the other example I wanted to show you is my original blog. And so when I set off on Lauren's financial freedom journey back in 2013, blogs were, following someone's journey. And it was much easier to get ranked, though, of course, the internet's grown a lot. So that's where now we have to make sure, not just using a blog post, though the certain things we put into it. And there's a lot of things on the behind the scenes to get it ranked, just because now you're doing a better job of what it is. Now, all of those settings have been there since 2013. You didn't really need to worry about a lot of them, though now when you go and really sit with those little things, which a virtual assistant can do for you, so those things are going to be all the different things that helps your page get found, since now there's a lot more competition. And the nice thing is, just the better the content, the better user experience and things like that. That's another thing that now Google ranks with. Like, people are enjoying your site, they're staying on your site, they're getting value, so they're going to give you more authority. And so this is where just the little subtle things that I've done is that this is a page that I've talked about, a system called the mental bank. And so I've devised my own twist off of it. And so I have one page on the site that is this, and then I have a very close duplicate one, and you can see it has a date. So that's a blog post. And so what I actually have done over the years is I wanted to see the difference between the blog page and the actual services page and see which ones got found. And so over the years, I found, it's about, well, for a while, it was about 50-50. And then the other thing is that, as you'll see how I've monetized it, about half the people downloaded it instantly, half the people downloaded things like when they wanted to buy from me via my shopping cart on my website. Though when I started this site back in 2013, I didn't have a shopping cart. So I got really creative on ways to monetize it. So this is just, once again, fun little split testing. I've just had so fun with the blog. And then the nice thing is, it's made passive sales, passive income, and it's gotten me active clients and amazing clients and thousands of dollars from having that too. So there's the balance between like active income and passive, and I still have a whole lot of passive sales and lead flow, which has been really it's just such a blessing. So using those, this is kind of where I played around with it. And then something, if you've never checked it out before, oh, sorry, this is my example first. So here's the incognito window once again. So I searched for, this is what I started ranking. So what I've done is my, blog, the financial freedom one, that one has been more broad. So I could rank for different types of things. And so one thing I found was I was starting to get all these traffic and leads for something called the mental bank. So this is where if somebody's searching for something that's not even mine, and yet they're finding my site because I talked about it. So where is there in your business that you could talk about or even supplement somebody else's good ideas? And oh my gosh, you have this going on. So you can see here's something cool. My website, it's been updated a few times, and yet so one thing is the image is still in the top spots on Google, because there's not just using blogs, it's when you put images on your blogs and embed them in certain ways, now your image gets you found on Google. So I do so many well rankings on image searches, which is really cool. And then the actual blog post you can see is coming up. And the funny thing is I've changed my URL, and yet the original one is still as the authority site in here, and it's still ranking pretty highly. I think this was 6th or 7th spot on Google for an old page that's not even current. So, and when they click on it, it still is another lead source. So that's super cool. So that's one ways. And then when we talked about the posts, so this is my old site. And so I actually went, if you can see here, there's an internet archive. And so the images didn't come through, though this is something really cool I wanted to show you. So this one, it shows what my old site was. And so this is the blog post. I showed you the pretty version. Well, what I had it right here, this buy now button. This is something called Gumroad. I'll show you in a moment. Totally free resource that you can use. And so I was able to list my products originally for sale doing that. And then eventually I was able to get a shopping cart added. And this is all looking funny and not pretty because it's the time machine. Though some of the images didn't download. And this is the interesting thing. And I talked about is a lot on Joanna's workshop. And so the importance and a lot of strategies to do with it. So you're going to see right here is some of my images have this dash. Whoops, I went to the next one. And then some of them don't. So this is part of the things that we do on the back office is putting it and speaking in Google's language. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's an example of exactly what I taught for you all on there. So you can see it. And also, auditing my site. Oh, well, I hadn't fixed it everywhere. Though a lot of people, they leave their images blank or they upload them as, image 56789. Well, Google doesn't know what that means. Though the behind the scenes, I named my files in a certain way talking about this mental bank, and so I can be found for it. So that's some of the behind the scenes aspects. So make sure you get the full training to know where you're going to put all this stuff, because you can see like on the back side, that's where we go through Joanna's like, oh my gosh, this is where you type it, and this is how you have to rename your file from the computer, like things like that. So super cool. So Gumroad is a resource, and the nice thing, you can create lots of different accounts. So from one of my accounts from the blog, it's like almost $2,000 of income that I've gotten just from having these links out there. And the thing too is that you can use it for free, and now I've been using it a lot for free downloads, and you're actually going to have a link for that in a bit for my free gift. I like to use Gumroad. It's cool. And then I also have the ability, if you want to charge for something, then Gumroad, they take 10%. So it never costs you to use their service. Then if you want to make money, then they take their cut. And so then that's how they make money. And so you have that option built in to do things. So pretty cool. And whether you have a website or not, you can start to use those Gumroad links. And so here's some ways, when we look at money blogging, there's so many different things that you can put on that blog. So here's like products and services. You saw my example with the party site. And promoting, you can do I can promote, like on my party site, local vendors and things like that is a way to bring traffic and expertise to my providers, as well as more traffic on my website. So there's win-wins in that. You can charge for ads, you can put ads on your blog, things like that. So you can put Google ads even if you want Google to do it, and make passive income just from that. So lots of fun stuff. Affiliate marketing, so if you're selling other people's products and services, oh my gosh, make blog posts on it. Most affiliate people are doing the exact same things with the exact same comments and the exact same ways. Well, this is a way that you can be completely different and use the power of the internet to really explode your internet marketing. So just some fun things to get your ideas flowing. You'll see a lot more on the training. And if you have any questions and feedback, please ask. It's fun to also see your ways. So, oh yes, engaging. So doing that here. So drop some comments if you've watched this far. What are ways that you see using your blog to really showcase your expertise and hopefully make some passive income, and also of those, free gifts and things like that. You can put those on there. So some fun stuff on there. Actually, I'm just realizing on the mental bank one, I didn't screenshot that, though I also had my free download right above the paid thing. So before they even saw a paid, there was an opportunity for them to get a free version of some stuff. So basically, like one template, as opposed to, they could buy like 10 templates or something. So those are great ways that you can monetize it. And putting free gifts on your blog post is pretty much the whole point. Hint, hint, hint. And we go through that with Joanna, and looking at different things like that. So that's what I'm so excited for you all to be doing with things. So there we go. Here is your gift, because you've made it towards the end. And you're going to see, this is so AI. And we did a demo with Joanna's website. We did it actually with Google Bard, which was really cool. You also have Chat GPT. And so I like to compare, and actually I can make them, kind of talk to each other, like set the prompts from one AI to the other. So that's fun. So for you all, I highly recommend grabbing the AI resources so you can see different ways that you can use AI to be able to help you. So part of the things we talk about looking at Joanna is, it's not just making one blog post. There's more that goes with it. And as you're talking about writing a lot of AI or posts, where can AI come into that? Should you be using AI in post? Does Google know? Will they rank you more or less? So we definitely cover all of that on the paid training with Joanna as well. So grab your gift. There's a lot of great resources, and you can see what else will we add. So I'm always adding things to that document. So getting that document, you'll also get whatever goodies that I add as I find new amazing things on AI, because it's always changing. So so much love to you all. I hope, as we talk about all of the great stuff, this is what we're going to go through Joanna's. So you're going to see her really nice website, the behind the scenes. I always love going into people's back offices, and seeing also she's a really successful social media producer. And so where do we now take her existing posts and we can embed them into her blogs and things like that? So a really neat way for them to really talk to each other. And the stuff that she spends so much time doing on social media that disappears over time, this is where putting it on the blog will build her over time. So I'm so excited to be able to see that for her. So there we go. So this is what the blog class goes into more of in bigger details. So you're welcome to jump onto it. I highly recommend the blog class. Have a blast with it. And yeah, reach out if you have any questions that are undone. And also, please, I want to see your first vlogs. So that'd be so fun. You can throw links into it. I love seeing the results of what you've taken once you've invested the time and money into the class. So even from this class, what can you learn and do from it? And then if you want to continue and really dive into blogging, definitely get the course and implement it and then share it. That's going to be so fun. And so there we go. So that's the links, and so much love and aloha to you, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. We're going to have that gratitude moment and have a wonderful one. Increase your visibility with blogging and make some lots of passive income and leads. Aloha.